a sugarless hooker waitress, model actress, oh just go nameless. Honeysuckle, she's full of poison. She obliterated everything she kissed. Now she's fading somewhere in Hollywood. I'm glad I came here when y'all found us flash.
Welcome to Model Actress Whatever, another fabulous episode. This time we're delving into the mind of Retna. He is an LA street artist icon who has been adopted by the Fine Art Society. He comes from the streets, and he is right around that whole thing with Shepard Fairey, and he is blowing up incredibly well. Basically, he has a scarf out with Louis Vuitton for all you fancy people, which is a super huge honor. He is a wildcat and very philosophical. And I've known him for a few years. We go into how we know each other. And generally, I'm really proud of him. On another note, I will be playing Miami this weekend. I was in Las Vegas last week and San Francisco on the weekend, mostly hanging out. I saw Thelonious London at a club. And then I had a party bus with my best friend since I was 9 in San Francisco. So I had a great last week. I've been also working on some really good interviews for Model Actress Whatever. I got a secret model who has basically dated a billionaire. And kind of her whole path down this kind of scandalous road. So that's going to be an interesting one. And then I also have another one coming up with Miss Marcella Glass or Anna Kim Violet or a lot of pseudonyms. But basically she's an avant-garde artist, done some modeling, and comes from a really great family and is the daughter of Tom Petty, and she goes into some really crazy tangents. So I'm really excited about all the podcasts I have coming up. Basically, hold your hats, get ready for the ride. Retina on his inspiration, his art, and I believe this podcast gets interrupted by Usher Raymond. That's right. The R&B singer Usher Raymond interrupts my fucking podcast. So it's not that I'm a bad interviewer. It's just I can't compete with Usher when he takes away my guest. Anyways, let's do it. Model Actress Whatever. Enjoy. Here, wait, are we going?
Yeah, we're going.
I feel like it's not going. Oh, here we are.
Okay.
We're totally online. So,
What's good?
Retna, what's your real name?
My real name is Retna.
Radla?
Retna.
Retna. Your real name is Retna.
Yeah.
Retna.
Some people call
Retna?
me Moses or Brimstone.
Is this your first podcast?
I believe this would be my first podcast.
You're like the mysterious artist.
I'm not really that mysterious. I just go by a lot of different names and stuff. You know what I mean?
It's like that graffiti mentality.
Yeah, you know, I just different names for different things. You know, different people know me for different reasons, I guess. But Retna's the main name, you know, that I've had since like 96.
96.
Yeah.
So just to like preface this, we're doing Model Actress Whatever podcast.
Right.
Basically the deal is you would fall under whatever. Right. Which is an artist.
Correct.
Just backstory for our history.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that actually. Well, me and you, we worked. You know what? with you, Cece, was the first time when we were working with, my early work in fine art, I was taking bus ads, fashion ads
Those are my favorite.
with the models and what have you.
Someday I'll be rich enough to buy those.
Well, we did you one better. I think we painted you on one of the walls. So I think what was kind of fun with you when we met the mutual friend was that before we were taking ads, right? And then we would try to paint these fashion ads on the streets or on the walls with El Mac. And then with you, what was nice was that we had a wall in mind on 3rd and La Brea. And we didn't have a shoot that actually worked properly for that. So when you knew about us, we wanted to work with you. And then we did the impromptu shoot right there at the
Corey's house.
At Corey's loft in downtown. And from there that was actually the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that we had actually did a wall with an image that me and Mac had actually worked on together.
No.
Yeah.
Because I thought all those other chicks...
No.
That was the first wall?
That was the first one. Because the other one was like Lauren Pope, Adriana Lima... that there were images that we would find.
The Bebe posters.
The Bebe post, Nina Brosh, what have you. But you were the first one.
The OG.
The OG, triple OG, quadruple.
I was always like, I always loved being like, well, I have a wall.
That was a pretty. I don't even got a wall.
You don't. Retna, you own the city.
No, that was dope. That was really cool. The whole process on that was fresh. I think it was interacting with you as a model as well, getting to pose you and getting you like to get the movement that we wanted, for it to work properly on that space. So I think that's why that piece became even that much more intimate.
Did you see the Shepherd Fairy? Like it was like on the cover of that wall.
It was on the Times.
And the LA Times.
LA Times.
And Shepherd Fairy was in front of it.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like bending down, like giving a report on street art
right.
in Los Angeles.
Well, we had to battle it out not with Shepherd, but there was a lot of people that wanted to use that wall for music videos and stuff like that.
And we turned them down.
We turned a lot of them down.
Retna, is your favorite thing to do is to turn people down?
No.
You have such a the thing I love about you is that you're the most punk rock.
A lot of that stuff's got me into a lot of trouble over the years. I did. There was times I became fascinated with turning people down, but it was more depending on how they came at me. I do like working in collaborative projects with a lot of people. We do a lot of stuff with charities and different things like that. Stuff for good causes and
drop some charity names.
We just did one for the HRO with Sean Penn for the Haiti Relief organization, which went really well.
You did the pink party?
We did the pink party with Elise Walker and Supra, and which was dope. It was for ovarian cancer, breast cancer. We just got something right now. We're doing tomorrow with Will.i.am and his I Am Angel Foundation, which I believe helps people out in Boyle Heights, and then we're doing the thing with the shoes this weekend with Supra.
That's like your charity that you always are.
Well, I met them through a mutual friend of mine, and I a lot of the stuff that I
What's the name of the charity?
It's La Plaza de la Raza. It's a community center in like East LA.
What's your connection? Are you
the kids? There's always like kids involved. Is the main thing, and they have a really great program for kids art projects and stuff like that. They had probably lost a little bit of funding over the years, so this was a way to kind of supplement that. But I went over there. I had a friend, Rigo, who was working there, and I had went to a show, and I saw this mariachi band, and there was all these little kids. They're like 9 years old or something like that.
Ripping.
Yeah, they ripped it up pretty hard. So I wanted them to perform at my show. And
what show was that?
This was the Michael Cohn show that I did not too long ago here in LA. It was my first solo show in about 2 years. And when they came through and performed for me, so this is a way of giving back. Like I figured, I just really, like if I was a kid, I would want someone to kind of, help me out or show me kind of
There's more to life.
Yeah, and you get back. You know, we've taken a lot, I think, in the process of getting where we're at. So I think it's good to be able to get back.
Can you take me back to Little Retna? Where was Little Retna? Where did Little Retna grow up?
Little Retna grew up not far from here, from where we're at you know, Fairfax, and grew up in the mid city, Koreatown, Mid Wilshire.
You got mommy and daddy, or one mommy, or
They just roll with moms, you know.
solo moms?
Yeah, solo moms. Worked 2 jobs and trying to give me the best, and I kind of, you know, made a lot of mistakes along the way and wanted
So
to
what were you? What was? Do you have a college? Do you have a college degree in art? Did you go to art center?
No. I wanted to. I look back and I wish I would have probably went
To art center.
Well, to just college in general. I tried to go back a couple of times, but my schedule was always so busy. And
well, take me back. I want to hear all about Little Retna. I remember the first.
Little Retna was Moses before that.
Okay.
And you know, I've been doing graffiti since I was about 8 years old. I got into it back in the day in Santa Monica. I actually picked it up in private school. You know, so I did get a little bit of.
Your mom got you.
Yeah, she didn't want me to get in trouble and stuff, so she figured she'd send me to private school. But there was a lot of kids that rebelled were sent to private schools. So, you know, I got the bug for graffiti back then, and then I just never turned back. You know, I never would have thought it would have took me where it has.
What is this? Early 90s, mid 90s.
This is late 80s.
Late 80s. So were you watching Wild Style? Is this what's going on?
No, at the time there was these kids in school. I was looking up to, like, you know, dudes from the neighborhood and stuff like that. And then I was trying to get my hands on spray can art, subway art. I didn't get my hands on it for like 2 years, but there would be this kid that would come in with sketches and stuff like that, and we would just try to emulate, you know, different stuff, and he would show me how to write by name and what have you. And I was also looking at gang writing and kind of getting ideas from that, block lettering and what have you. And then I would learn from I made a deal with a couple of guys out there in Santa Monica. If they taught me how to skateboard, I'd teach them how to do graffiti. I never really got that good at skateboarding, but that was kind of the idea. We would skate around, catch tags, go out to Inglewood and do our thing or whatever. And then from different schools, so from the 3rd to the 5th grade, I learned the introduction. I went to a different school. I met another kid who taught me the history of LA graffiti, about Chaka, IFK, LOD, Whisk, you know, all those guys.
Was CBS a part of this?
CBS was a big part of LA culture, still is. You know, AWR, MSK.
Because you know, Richard Eduardo, Mir.
Yeah, I know Richard Eduardo. I know Mir as well. Mir, I have to credit him and Chaz as giving me my first opportunity to do the show. You know, they gave me my first show opportunity, Mir and Chaz. And I believe it was 97 or 98, if I'm not mistaken. It was called Contemporary Corruption. It was over at the 01. It was a big show.
01 Gallery.
01 Gallery.
Back on Melrose, right?
Yeah, John Polkna. And so that was my first exhibit. And so I owe that to Mir and Chad Borges.
Chaz just had a show.
He did.
Did you roll in support?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to go to the opening, but that was held at Plaza de la Raza.
Oh.
So they have a gallery there as well. So that's where that was. I just picked up.
I feel like he's like a total unsung hero.
Yeah, he is. You know, I've always looked at Chaz as like the godfather of what we do over here. You know, I picked up a couple of pieces. I'm glad to own a few pieces of his and stuff like that. But he's always been someone who's inspired me, and just style and, you know, just the elegance and just the regalness of his work is just beautiful to me. You know,
the regalness. That's a great word.
I love that stuff. You know, like that imperial, just like regal, like, you know, it transcends from like, has that Asian aesthetic to the cholo writing, and he's one of those guys that merges, all of these elegant calligraphy kind of stylistic approaches, and just makes some of the best work I've ever seen.
You can see the influence.
Yeah, he's been a major influence to me.
How did you go from? Did you get? First of all, have you gone to jail? I feel like everyone I've interviewed has gone to jail.
Yeah, I've been there.
So, but how did you get from the graffiti writing to, was it Chaz and them who were more like, hey, we can take this into the gallery?
Well, no, me, I was new on the scene. I was young. I was probably, 17 years old, 18 years old. And then we had a show with Chaz out in New York as well. But there was a lot of people doing inroads. I remember Mir had a really great show in at the 01, these beautiful paintings and stuff like that. And then Chaz, I was influenced by the Chicano art culture as well. The mural makers like George Yepes, Eloy Torres, the streetscapers and what have you. So I also had that connection that played a huge role in my work, Frank Romero's work and stuff. And I became really good friends with them. I got to exhibit with them. They had a great show here at LACMA, Chicano Visions, that I believe Cheech Marin was kind of...
that was huge, and Richard was doing all the prints.
Correct. Richard and Artemio Rodriguez, I think they did the big catalog and stuff like that for them. And then I got a chance to work work alongside those guys or be friends with them. And then I was fortunate enough, I think, over the years.
You sound like a really safe artist right now, and I know you're fucking buck wild. Can we go into my favorite thing about...
Well, I don't talk about Richard because he tried to fucking...
I know, we all got beef. And you know what One did to me? I was 18 years old, Mormon girl from Tucson, Arizona, and he thought I worked with the CIA. He thought I worked for the CIA, right, and had me fired from my job. And I'm like, you're this old dude, and you're going after me.
Yeah, I used to get run out of the blocks on Melrose, and
he's crazy.
But
we all go through crazy things.
Yeah,
but,
I've done my fair share, and if I sound like a safe artist, I kind of like that.
Okay. Let's go to how, let's fast forward to how epic everything is going for you right now. Bring me into the world of Damien Hirst and Deitch coming in and blessing you.
Yeah, that stuff can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. Just from
zero gallery to...
Right, to some of the big heavy hitters in the game, no doubt. I don't know if it was being at the right place at the right time. I think it was just always open to meeting new people. I went to the show in Mexico, and I met his wife, and we became friends and stuff like that.
This is Damien Hirst.
Yeah, and then he had just had that dope show, Dark Trees, over there in Def, and we were there for Zona MOCA. I was trying to do a wall, and we had this friendship over time, and we never really talked about who she was with and this and that. I knew it, and then there just came a time when they wanted to pick up some pieces, you know what I'm saying? And
bada bing, bada boom.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty good.
I think describe those pieces?
For a long time I really didn't talk about that stuff. I kept it more private. I think other people probably would have utilized it to sell more work and stuff like that. I didn't really do that. I kind of it was more of a
the homies.
Yeah, the homie, but it was more of like a inner kind of achievement, an acknowledgement of someone of that stature to pick up your work, and then going to the Murder Me collection. I believe 13 pieces ended up there and stuff like that. When Jeffrey Deitch came out here, that was a pretty big thing for me. When I met him, I was doing that show with Marcia Goldberg over at New Image, and then he came through, and he was just been crowned the new director of MOCA, and then he had picked up a piece. You know what I'm saying? So then that was cool. That actually happened before the Damien thing, and then I just met a lot of other great people along the way. But it was like I just kind of kept at it. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of ups and downs. You know what I mean? For sure. For the longest time, just broke cats, just trying to figure out how to make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
No, but like getting all these walls and just becoming such a huge presence in Los Angeles, where it was like every wall, every surface was covered.
I want to believe that it's been like that for a very long time.
It has been.
Okay.
I looked at my face on La Brea for a long ass time.
Well, that was the thing. I think when I started work, earlier on, I was doing the traditional graffiti. I was running a crew since I was like 14 years old and stuff like that, and then I adapted and changed when I started working with Mac. I started doing some stuff that was more mural based.
But then what is it like? What is it with you? Because I've known the Mac since I was 14, Tucson, Arizona.
Okay, right.
Hooked him up with some legal walls.
Okay.
Why isn't the Mac Retina? Or why isn't he blessed by the art gods?
Well, he's blessed in his own right. Everyone. I wouldn't have worked with him if I didn't think
he's insane.
The best of him, and I think when I first met him, I thought he was like amazing. And I still do.
Mind blowing.
At the moment he's just doing his thing, and then I'm doing my thing. I think we had a good chemistry for a while, and it worked. But we were also maybe becoming codependent on each other. And for me, when I got a chance to kind of regroup, and I was kind of neglecting my own work, because to do a lot of those murals, we were planning, in advance, like a year in advance and what have you. And it became very, it took a lot of time and a lot of energy. So I wasn't really working on a lot of personal work during that time. Everything was really...
When did it hit? When it was just like... I remember there was a building next to Hustler.
Oh, right. That one didn't last that long. I was kind of disappointed about that one. That one only lasted probably about three days or maybe 3 weeks or something.
I just witnessed that?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping. What I was always interested, obviously having a dominance on walls and stuff like that became, I say this now, but it's not to be cocky or anything, but at the time that was the game. You know what I mean? It was you were trying to put in work, you were trying to hold your position or move forward and get as many walls and run with your crew and really run the game. That was part of the plan. I didn't make the rules. I was just abiding
competitive.
Very competitive. And I rolled with very competitive people, And so I was always trying to figure out new ways to compete, And so me getting walls, I was always trying to encroach onto the west side. That was always my thing. I was like, I always wanted spots where no one else had them. You had
Echo Parks, so like all this Western.
Yeah, we call it Hollywood Lock. Mid-City was the main turf, and then we were doing stuff in East LA, South Central. But we always protected, the main area we protected was Mid-City, Koreatown. That was like the real hub, because we could go from any direction from there. But then I would try to go further west, try to get spot in like Beverly Hills or Beverly Hills adjacent, or if I could get up on Sunset, if I could get up in Santa Monica, if I could get something in West LA or some, Culver City, or, I was always trying to, La Cienega, if I get someone on Fairfax, La Brea, and then the streets became part, they became labels. Like you wanted that label. I'm like, oh, I got Fairfax, I got La Brea, I got Wilshire. Wilshire became a very big crown jewel too. I had like 4 spots running on that street from Santa Monica all the way to downtown for a little bit, which was nice.
Was this all the calligraphy or?
No, this was probably more this was me just a graffiti writer,
When did so you were the collaboration with the Mac,
right,
and then also the BB kind of bus shelter situation.
That stuff was like my first artwork, my first fine art.
Okay, so then when did you like bust through the breakthrough? Every freaking billboard wall is going to be my calligraphy. When did you bust in? Like,
I'm still working on it. I'm still working on that. I'm still the billboards. Give me an insight on the billboards. I wanted billboards since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And we try to work with different companies, and we would try to give them proposals, different corporations we were working with, and different gigs, and we always wanted these billboards. You know what I'm saying? And it became very difficult. We painted them ourselves, but I wanted to. You
stole them. When did you start buying them?
Well, we borrowed some of them. And we were borrowing space. I just started to buy them. I became an advertiser, I guess. In a different way to say it. It became. I started with one, and I put up a friend of mine, Marlena Post. I put her up on La Cienega on what was it on? It was on Santa Monica Boulevard and La Brea. At the time, I think Revoke had already done a billboard out in New Jersey, New York, or something like that. There was a couple little ones popping up sporadically. I had to, I got to go backpedal a little bit. I did a billboard. We had a pretty big ad campaign. Our first billboard was actually in Times Square, and it was a piece that me and Mac did together for Xanadu. It was for a play. Or for a musical. So that was my first billboard. That I forget when that was. That might have been 2000, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something. So that our first one was Times Square, New York. I remember seeing it. Boom. We did it as a graphic. He painted it, and then I think some graphics were added to it. I forget exactly how it was done. And then my second run, I did I did a project with Ovation TV. Right, okay. So I did American Revolutionaries. So I did a whole ad campaign with them. So I did Nat King Cole, Miles Davis, Tina Turner, Aretha Franklin, and Jimi Hendrix. And then I had 2 billboards again in Times Square with Miles Davis and Tina Turner, full bus ad campaign, streets, the whole 9. And then that went to a couple of different places. I think it went to Dallas and went to Chicago. So I got a little bit of
taste.
Yeah, I got the taste, liked it a lot. And then it died out for me a little bit. Then I put up that one by myself up here. I had a friend, Veronica Thomas, who worked over at A&I, and she used to work with CBS Outdoor, what have you. So I told her I wanted to get a billboard. I wanted to get in this billboard game or whatever. I was getting a little too old to go do this stuff, and you can't really. You got to figure your losses if you want to get in this trouble or not, or can you go about it in a different way. So at the time there was a show I was promoting the Photo LA show that was happening at the convention center, and that was why I put up a photograph. And then I was trying to promote that. I did. If you look at the first one, I took it upon myself to promote Photo LA, but obviously I was promoting my work, but I also put them on the billboard, and then I put the crew and different stuff on there. Mm-hmm. And then from there, what I just did in the summer, I went on just. You
went off.
I just went nuts.
and what was on the? Can you give a description of some of the billboards that you did this summer?
Initially over the summer they were models. I was working with Next Models, who are friends of mine.
So you have a thing for models, actress, whatevers.
I do. I like things that look good. I can't. And there's talent. Nah, I think I've always looked at it like muses, right? And stuff that inspires you. I was always, influenced by that. I just love great photography, great poses, like.
Do you want to name drop some of your favorite photographers?
Yeah, I think one of the first photographers that got me that just got me buzzed on their work was Matthew Ralston. I got a chance to work with David LaChapelle, which was really, really cool when we did the Vanity
Sick.
Fair. That's when I was acting like a model, which was kind of. They put me on that 2-page spread with I think Shepard Fairey and Kenny Sharp, which going back to that, I saw how difficult it is to do what you guys do. To be in front of the camera and to do these poses and to hold them and to.
Not have your mind go insane.
Yeah, I was like, wow, there's that there's a lot of work into it, but
Let's not talk about models. Let's talk about you being like the great, like where you're at right now. It's insane. Vanity Fair with Shepard Fairey, with David LaChapelle.
Yeah, too.
You're hitting like you're single mother, Koreatown.
Yeah, we did all right.
Private school dropout.
Well, I got kicked out.
Kicked out.
Right.
I mean,
we did good. We did all right. But I have to attribute it to I met a lot of good people along the way. When I was working with our mutual friend Corey, where we met, Corey was someone else who.
Corey is the jam. We love you, Corey.
I call Corey my spiritual advisor. And
which is hilarious because this guy is like the most insane guy with
Corey's
like
dope.
a knife collection.
Yeah, I got a couple scars from him. I love Corey, but I remember back at 01, he would come in and bring models, and we would do these shoots.
I remember these shoots.
Yeah. So there's early work that we used to do for that.
I can't. But that was not that long ago, and now you're doing Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, we did do Louis Vuitton, didn't we?
No, but you. I'm just saying, like that was like 6 years ago. That's not that long.
I think it was longer than that.
No.
Yeah, it was like 10 years. It's been a minute. It's like 10 years. I think so.
2001 or 2002.
That's
the first time I saw you in the back of 01 Gallery.
So it's around that time. It's
about no. Because Corey and all that stuff, I lived in Echo Park, and that was like 2006, 2000. Because that wall was up.
2006, right?
That wall started.
But I'm saying I was working with Corey prior to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got some old shit we were doing back in the day
like
that we were
all
doing
these like naked girls and like this big.
We would do the
table.
Naked girls, and we would do. It was always on some spiritual, sensual voodoo kind of craze, like shaman, wildness.
So good.
But it was never like on some raunchy stuff. It was on some like
no low riders involved. There were some big booty hoes, but
that was
but
healthy women. I think
healthy women with beautiful bosoms. So I can't, because I've known you so long. Right. I'm totally biased, but I want to hear about like being an art star. Like, I mean, would you consider yourself an art star?
You know what? I try not to think about it.
Okay, you don't think about it. But you're in Vanity Fair with Shepard Fairey. Give me some of the street. Like, you think it's like street art, like with this whole like name of street art versus fine art.
I don't know. I never. That's one thing. I never really looked at it like I was a street artist. I always looked at it like I'm a graffiti writer. That became a term that was dubbed later. I guess I do know it. I'm aware of it. I try not to. If you think about that stuff, it could get to your head, and then you could kind of.
But you know how much shit's going for.
I'm aware. I try not to think about that stuff, though. To be honest with you, I try not to.
I'm giving him the like, really, really. I mean, I don't want to drop numbers. But...
I don't know what those numbers are. We just put in work. I think that's how I look at it. That's what, pays for me to do the billboards for wall. A lot of stuff offsets different things. You know what I'm saying? So
Can I hear like some crazy stories of
like what kind of crazy
I wanna
stories?
like
We might have to do part 2 to this if you want crazy stories.
I want like give me just like shootout like drug lords who now want all your art.
Well,
Or like
I don't know if I want to talk about all that right now. But there's a lot. There's probably a lot of stories.
just give me like an Art Basel story. Give me like what happened at Art Basel this year with Louis Vuitton. Like, do you have any like?
Well, you know what? I actually did that one earlier. I did that one in
a week.
November. So this year I did the SLS Hotel. But in November, that was a pretty big deal. To be
Tell us about it. What happened?
Well, to be able to do Louis was like having another like little crown jewel added to your belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I did, obviously, my history. I designed for a lot of different people, from streetwear all the way up to the high end. You know what I mean? Where I used to do stuff with Upper Playground, Tribal.
Love Upper Playground.
The Seventh Letter. Ruka, did a couple things with Nike, and did stuff with Supra and Louis Vuitton. So I went through the ranks of, I was always I think when we were young, we were always trying to start a clothing company. We were trying to figure out a way to diversify. We go to Magic, and we, had this great idea that we were going to do some shit, but that never actually ended up going anywhere. But I did lend my graphics or my work to a lot of different companies and stuff like that, and maybe it was just my style that gravitated to a company like Louis Vuitton, where I was able to paint. I believe I'm one of the first artists to actually paint the actual facade of their store. Got a couple scarves out with them and stuff like that, which I believe a lot of them are sold out. And it was just a huge honor to do that. You got guys like, when I went to go meet with them, you got like Richard Prince, Murakami, Damien Hirst hanging in the spot. So it's just another reinforcement.
It adds to that crown you got going
Something
on.
like that. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And then it's a good feeling to be able to do stuff like I'm doing now with Supra that we're doing on Saturday. And that's something that's all, like Angel, someone who I've always looked up to for what he was doing. That gave me the motivation at a young age too. Like, when you see someone else running a successful business or doing what they love to do, and you could chit chat with them and kind of see how you could kind of do it. When I first met Angel, I wasn't doing anything on the scale that I'm doing now, but I kept persistent. But it was nice having good friends like that along the way, and I hope if I could be that for other people, that'd be good,
Yeah. Well, it's the insanity of the blowing up of Retina.
It comes with a lot of bruises.
It
definitely didn't come easy. It looks easy, I think. A lot of people can probably look at it like overnight success, but it's been like 20 years in the making, now it's all picking up a lot faster. A lot of people that collect my work, own my work, they hang with some of the most beautiful. What are the things that stress you
out now? What stresses you out with success?
I think it's really just finding a moment of peace and clarity and figuring out my next move, my next style, how to compete in the major leagues, how to diversify my work, how to expand it, how to make it 10 times bigger and badder than it was before. So all those things are still kind of going through your mind. And really trying to compete on that grand scale. Now you're looking at when I was a graffiti writer, we were trying to run game and be in the history of that. Now it's trying to be in the history of art, for centuries and centuries to come. Whether I'll make that, who knows, but that's obviously the plan, is to be.
I mean, you're in collections, like what?
Yeah, I'm in a lot of great collections and stuff like that, and I like to joke that I don't own any of my own work, but I own. I do. I can't say that I don't, but I do like to kid around that way. Sometimes, sometimes I'll open up a magazine or I'll see the houses that they end up at. And I'm just, I think I'm like, man, I wonder what my work does for people, because these are houses that have all these beautiful pieces already and stuff like that. And you start to wonder, what is it that is drawing your work, to be housed, amongst other great pieces. And I think what I noticed was when I collected works, I try to collect stuff from people that I like and artists and people I know or not even people I know, just work that I admire, try to give back and stuff and share it with other people. And I think what I learned was that I love sharing the stuff that I like to collect with other people. So
Can you give us some names of some pieces or artists that you've collected?
Yeah, like I have like some pieces by Casey Ortiz. I got a piece from Pose. I got some stuff from Ewok, George Thompson. I got some stuff from earlier piece from like Revoke, and I just got a piece by AJ Fossick. I got some stuff by Michael Vasquez. This Chris Cooksey that's pretty fucking sick.
That's the sickest piece.
Yeah.
Can you describe that for us?
It's just some insanity, some beautiful insanity going on in that piece. And then
it's a sculpture, right?
It's a sculptural piece, yeah. And it took me a while to be able to collect work. I started off collecting photographs and prints and stuff. So when I was able to collect originals, it became a really...
Changed the game.
It just became fun, and I could see it becomes addicting.
Well, the crazy thing is
because then you want to get some other stuff. Like I just picked up 2 Chaz pieces the other day. I picked up a piece by Chad Muska that I seen over at New Image. I didn't even know it was him. I just really liked the piece. It was like this deconstructed flag on wood, white on white. And I was like, I want that. I told Marcia, and she was like, oh, Chad did that. I was like, oh, I love it. So,
great, yeah.
So, I forget what I was saying,
but you have your own big art collection. You
it's not
feel
that
honored when people
it's not
collect
that
you.
It's not that big. It's a little thing. It's a work in progress that I'm working on. I don't do it to flip work or anything like that.
That's the thing that I mean, when I was younger, I was just like, oh yeah, art, and you have these artists and whatever. But then I came to LA, and these the most rich people that I ever met just would have the most insane art collection, and they're like, you know why? Because the stock market goes down, goes down, but this Monet, it's staying here. Like
it usually goes up. It's kind of the way it works,
What do you think of the business of art?
It could be cutthroat. It's
give us a cutthroat.
It's the one. It's one of the oldest businesses in the world. So I think that should be enough to tell you. It's a beautiful business.
Like prostitution.
They actually say it goes hand in hand. Those two.
Oh my god.
They're pretty old businesses. Those two together. And
how does it feel to were you prepared for as an artist you have this idea?
I think sometimes I wasn't fully prepared.
How could you be?
But now I have a lot of great people around me, kind of,
whispering,
protecting, protecting me and just allowing
give me like a little example, because for people who aren't super educated on like art buying, selling, and at the level
I don't sell anything direct.
No. But like, what is it? You're laughing with the cutthroat in this.
Well, it's just part of the business. There was when I made.
I'm giving him the sign of stop going around the question. Fucking answer the question. We're all sitting here at this podcast just waiting for the dirty story.
I know, but you know what? Even as many.
Come on, with billboards that are direct fuck yous, like.
I didn't know those were saying fuck you. I thought those were saying, hey, enjoy your day.
No, No, okay, do you want me to tell? Basically, there's a billboard, and he's like, this guy did this, and so in calligraphy, I like wrote exactly how I felt.
Yeah, well, that's what I'll do with some of the paintings, is I write what I feel or what I'm going through, you know. So if people piss me off, that's kind of what I'm writing about in the work.
Your own little poetry going on.
Yeah. Or sometimes they're inspired by music, you know, by different songs that I'm thinking about or that are kind of playing in my head, and then I'll write it on the actual painting, you know. But sometimes a lot of my frustrations are released through the paintings, and I think it's trying to find the happiness and the joy from doing the work, you know, and really it's when it inspires someone else, right? Is when you get like the most, that's why you do it. You remember, you know, all the territories and all the business stuff aside, you know, it was for the upliftment of what it does creatively for other people. Because that's how I got where I was at, was by seeing other people's work that uplifted me. At the time, I never thought, oh, how much money is their stuff going for? You know, it's going for money. But at the time, all that stuff it kind of flies right by you. All you know.
Well, I don't think people get into graffiti writing to make money.
Who doesn't think that?
I don't think.
I think people probably think differently now.
I mean, well, with the street art,
yeah,
the street art movement,
it's made a lot of people successful. It's made a lot of people be able to pursue their dreams and modify their artistic expressions into something that's probably, you know, that they could live off of.
So coming from the street, and then now you're like super recognized in the traditional art.
I can't say that I'm fully recognized there yet. I'm working on that. That's my next.
What in your
challenge.
mind becomes the moment when you are fully recognized in the establishment of the art world? What will it take? Other than 1 billion billboards outside of LACMA.
You know what? Maybe I'm there and I just don't even know it. Or I try not to.
But what in your imagination?
You know what? I'm trying to answer. I'm trying to think of the answer to that. But
we can sit here.
But then I'm thinking about all the great people that have collected my work. You know, I'm thinking about the people I'm working with. You know, like from Louis Vuitton, to MOCA, from the Bill. You know, I'm at the Vanity Fair to David LaChapelle, to this, to that with Damien. You know what I mean?
So
maybe I'm just maybe I'm there, or I'm close to there, and I just try to not think about it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really try to.
So take me to the place where, before all of this, when you were not getting validated,
when it felt like, okay, like, you know, when I got to do the show with Marcia, each thing I did felt that way. You know,
you weren't validated yet, or
but I felt validated every time I did something. When I did a show at the Lowe's Hotel at their penthouse or whatever, or when I did the first show at the 01, you know, that was a form of validation. That was one, you know. Then you get your feet wet. Then it's like someone buying your work, you know. Usher at the time, he bought a couple of my paintings way back when before anyone was buying my stuff. Actually,
was that the bus shelter ones?
No, well, he bought some pieces that I did that were like of Miles Davis. That I did a Miles Davis and a Marvin Gaye. That came out in MTV Cribs. You know, this was early on. You know, he bought my work.
What year are we looking at?
We're looking at 2001, 2002. This was at a 01. You know what I'm saying? So that was a validation. When I did the thing with when I got those billboards in Times Square was a thing. When as an
artist, you have super highs and you have super lows. Take me to the super lows. Take me to a super low.
The super low is when you lose your friends, you know, and you can't share. You did a lot of dirt with, and you came up in the game, and then you can't share it with them. Those are the super lows. You know, when you end up in jail. You know, I don't even think the jail stuff even probably equates to when you lose.
Some people, so you got some homies that got shot.
Yeah, you just lose friends. You know, I think you lose fellow artists. That's the ultimate.
How did you keep alive when everyone else is?
Ah man, I think I got those guys looking out for me. You know, and hopefully I give a lot back. And you know, it's not to say that my time won't come. You know, I'm sure it's allotted on the book somewhere. You know, it just like while I'm here, I got to make the most of it. And you know, even having this conversation is kind of good because it was like I wasn't trying to. And then, but you just got me thinking, and it's got me inspired in a way, which is kind of good.
Why are you inspired?
Huh?
Why are you inspired?
Because I think when you hear yourself out loud talking about, to be happy, like I'm here, be present, do the work, enjoy the stuff. Excuse me, real quick.
We're live.
Hello.
You're gonna...
Hey, who's this? Hey, what's up, Usher? I'm good, brother.
Is this Usher
doing?
Raymond?
Yeah.
Is this a live
Model,
model, actress, whatever? Usher just interrupted our interview with Retna. Maybe he'll reclaim. Usher Raymond interrupting my podcast. Thank you very much. Anyways, I'm looking forward to next week. Maybe I'll actually put up 2 podcasts this week just to make up for missing last week. Don't worry, I'm new to this game. I'm having technical difficulties. Even if I travel and all this shit, I'm still going to do this podcast. I love you guys. I'm so happy for all the positive response I had on the Porcelain Black interview, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about Retina. Stay tuned. This is going to be like really interesting. I have some really exciting top models that I'm going to get on here. So hold on. Subscribe on the podcast, and hit up itsccsheffield.com. That's itsccsheffield.com if you want to pick up some swag, like a Chanel looking t-shirt that says my name. Anyways, good luck in Hollywood.
Sugar